everyone to an extraordinary moment as Hank and I are sitting here in the park today. Want to welcome you into the gift. Now, what does that really mean? Well, today, as we are expanding consciousness, we're going to be diving into those aha moments, diving into that experience that, have you ever had that where suddenly something makes sense, where suddenly everything is coming together and you're like, got it. This connected to this, connected to this. Well, how does that happen? How do we call that into our lives? How do we make that more visible? Well, today we're diving deep into that. And I am Kira.
I am Hank.
And we welcome you to this extraordinary journey. So sit back, relax, and let's dig in.
Sounds great to me, Kira.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today. We are blessed and honored to receive you. If you are joining Kira and I for the first time, welcome. Those of you who have experienced the previous 10 programs, I trust you have benefited from the progression. This is an exciting series of awareness presented to both touch on the spiritual and humanistic lives that we are living. Our focus, this work, is on self-ascension, living your true I, in being, experiencing who you are at your core, fostering another to be. Kira and I offer this pathway forward in Series 1, entitled The I, with the intention of sharing insights and down-to-earth formula through which one can achieve this enlightening state of being, the state of conscious awareness. Through presence, awareness, intention, transformation. It begins with being present. Presence leads to awareness. Awareness can guide one to intention. Your intention opens the gateway, illuminating one's ability to choose to transcend and transform.
Yeah.
Today's program is entitled The Gift, that aha moment that presents as a profound awareness when one is present. Present in conversation, present with another, present with self. It is an awareness, a gift if you will, that presents a profound understanding of self and offers an amazing opportunity for expansion. You may have heard me use the word another when referring to someone else. Please know that I intentionally reference other people using another in lieu of other or others. In this context, the word another is both singular and plural and non-gender. In communicating the word another, I willingly create an immediate sense of connection, whereas in using other or others, it connotatively creates a distance, a barrier for me. Descriptively, it is void of connection, something I believe that is paramount in experiencing our humanness.
Woo.
And when we were talking about the gift, when Kira shared about that aha moment, it is not the oh my moment that people have experienced at some point in their lives. It is the aha moment, truly that gift.
You know, I want you to really breathe that in, the receptivity of that gift, that moment where you're able to call into yourself, right, away, the awareness, right? Because when we are aware, when we give ourselves that gift of being aware, everything unfolds. And this is the moment. You know, I want to invite you right now as you would bring your hands to your heart. And Hank and I are sitting here in this beautiful park down here in Florida. And, you know, as we connect with everything here, including a few little mosquitoes that are jumping around, what we are aware of, what we are noticing is that connection. This is what Hank was just talking about, that connection is paramount to our humanness. And we are at a moment right now in this planet where I'm confident that you're experiencing as well, with the rapid rise in AI, with the vastly changing technological world, with the way that things are polarizing, or at least feeling like they're polarizing. What are you noticing? Because when we begin first with the aha within ourselves, we pay attention and we're able to move forward. Moving forward is the moment at hand. There are a lot of things on the planet right now that are probably calling your attention, and we're really glad that you're here right now. And as Hank mentioned, if it's your first time here, thanks for catching up. And the aha is to know that you are not the victim. You are the creator. You are the one that is able to move forward. And as you embody that, as you call that gift into yourself, that humanness expands, and your presence, which is where it all begins, right? Your presence becomes the illumination for others. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a room and you feel the energy, right? You walk in and suddenly, for whatever reason, you might not feel as comfortable as you were. You might notice something and there might not even be anybody in that room. Well, often that's because of energy. And in the moment of energy, in that moment of awareness, your presence ignites. Similarly, have you ever walked into a room and someone comes up to you and says, God, you look great. What's going on with you? You know, this is happening or that's happening. Why do you look so great when maybe you think you haven't done anything on that external plane, right? What they're seeing is your illumination. They're seeing your presence. And that's really where it moves us into the gift of knowing. Allowing ourselves and inviting ourselves to know is an incredible gift of awareness. And when we move into a gift, I think that's a beautiful moment. Don't you, Hank?
I do.
Yeah.
I really do, Kira. You know, the gift, that aha moment that we're talking about, allow me to offer you a personal experience with the hope and intention that it may more clearly speak to the depth of what a gift offers. That being open, the pathway to self-ascension.
Yes.
It was very early one morning. The clock had just struck 2. I was engaged in a conversation with my friend Philip, listening as he shared thoughts about his life, his work, and the possible direction forward. At one point, I offered a thought for his consideration. Philip followed up with, "That's a brilliant moment." My immediate response to his words was one of my rare moments of brilliance. Philip, with a very quick comeback, said, "What do you mean? You are brilliant, incredibly brilliant. Why would you say that? It's so negative. It's so not true." Philip went on to share that making a negative statement about oneself is derogatory. It adversely impacts one's heart, self-criticizing, beating one down rather than self-promoting. During the next several hours, I reflected on what Philip had shared with me, and I realized that this was not the first time I had made self-critical statements. In a short time, I came to understand why I said what I said to Philip, and why I had done so numerous times in the past. I did not want to come across as holier than thou, better than you, smarter than you, and the list goes on and on.
Oh, yeah.
Philip gifted me an important awareness, and in being present, I was able to receive his insight and able to integrate it in my life in ways that both advanced me closer to self-ascension and offered opportunities for me to share similar insights with another. Being present is the key to receiving gifts. Gifts from self, gifts from another, and gifts from the universe. If one is not fully present, the gifts, well, they just walk on by. I have seen it many times. One is stuck in their head. Possibly you've experienced this self-head focus.
Right.
Perhaps in thinking of the next thing to say in a conversation you are having with another. And the gift, well, it just walks on by. Be open. Be present. Be aware. And receive. I share this with you with the intention that an expectation that one may have or hold that they think is the key to unlock the door or what they need in the moment may not be what we need, what we truly need. At least that's my experience. Be open to curiosity, explore the truth. Your truth will present. And when you are ready and the time is right, it'll be clear. It is known, though not necessarily by you in that moment.
It's so true. And I want to go back to something Hank was just sharing, because it comes down to patience, doesn't it? Well, have you ever had that where you're like, I want it now. Why isn't it happening now? Why isn't this coming through now? I've done X, Y, and Z. Why isn't everything manifesting the way that I'd love it to be? Well, this is really important to remember, that it is all known, though not necessarily by you, and to each in their time. And this is a powerful discernment, especially as we're talking about gifts and we're talking about the gift. I encourage you, if you haven't lately, take stock of the gifts in your life. One of the things that I started sharing last week along with Hank was that it's important to remember, when we take people for granted, when we take experiences for granted, when we take this beautiful planet for granted, we minimize ourselves. Because the universe is constantly showering you. It is constantly putting in front of you all of the things that you need to be able to fully attain the divine gift of you, to arrive into that remembrance, into that knowing, to transcend anything that would really breed those seeds of self-sabotage, which are what? I'm listening because I know you guys know this. Fear, hesitancy, and doubt. And so when we chose, and we all chose through that sacred sequence of incarnation, when we chose to come into this experience of this potentiality right now, to have these beautiful bodies, to be able to create and move and go forward, do we look at that as the gift that it is? Or does the mind try to take over? Does the mind try to tell us things that may not necessarily be the truth? To each in their own time. Remember that you are unfolding. Remember that you are unfolding perfectly. You are here right now. That's part of the journey. We are here right now. That's part of the journey. And when we awaken, when we open our eyes to the true beauty that is always around us, then we are able to lift and witness rather than engage and become stuck. And when we lift and witness, we move into a moment that I moved into personally many years ago, and that is, I would just rather be happy than right. Sometimes the gift is saying, you know what, I'd rather be happy. I don't need to push a point, don't need to be right. I receive the gift. I receive the gift of this moment. I receive the gift of the interchange. I receive the gift of living in this body. It's all a gift. Even if in the moment it may feel like less than a gift, what I know, and I know Hank knows as well, is that you will discover that gift when you relax and say yes to your life, when you remember the beauty that is all around us, because true beauty is a blessing. And it's one of those aha moments to see the beauty in everything. Don't you think, Hank?
I do.
Yay.
I just hope that the mosquitoes that are gnawing on my body and sucking my blood are enjoying that gift, which I intentionally are presenting these opportunities to them.
So true.
Know that your beauty lies within. Rejoice in the love of self.
Yes.
For it is from this space that one experiences the true I, that beautiful being that I am, that you are, that sacred container that we as humans experience as a deep, pure love, a place that we can love another more deeply as well. Trust your process. Feel into yourself. Feel into your I, your essence, your light. This is the time for inner reflection, a time to feel into our body, a time of release, a time of expansion, a time of profound healing. Embrace the wisdom that is received, the wisdom you embody, the wisdom you are. It is through the teachings, awarenesses, the understandings, the sharing that we transcend.
Wow. I want to really breathe that in, and I want to underscore that for you. It is through the teaching, right? That means that we have to be open to receiving. It is through the awareness. That means we're saying yes to ourselves. It is through the understanding that invites a brain to relax. And it's through the sharing that we transcend. Many, many years ago, during one of my early past life experiences, The bottom line, the reason that I had that past life experience was to not let hate prevail. Because I had lived through an experience where, because of the energy of hate in this planetary thought body, my life ended very, very young. And in this moment right now, what I know, and I know you know it too, is that love and hate are very interesting play dancers, aren't they? They dance together, they play together, and sometimes they walk a similar line. It's easy to move into the energy of love, and it's a choice. But what's important to remember is that love has been manipulated. Love has been misconstrued. Love is right here inside of you. Love begins right here. And it begins in the energy of self-acceptance. And this is why Hank mentioned earlier, if you're new to this series, really go back. We've been building this series to really put together steps. This is a teaching. It is a series of steps. And if you go back, might want to binge watch some of these together, you'll notice the way all of these come forward. Because when we say yes, when we allow those aha moments to really come forward through the gift. Now, you might be saying, Kira, you don't know my circumstances. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what I've been through. You know what? Bullshit. We all have been through it. So we have to make a decision. Do we allow ourselves to be damaged and thereby never move forward again? How about relationships, right? A lot of you like to talk about that. Well, how many of you have had really negative experiences in relationships that left you damaged and saying, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to do that again. Well, that closes your heart. That closes your heart. Rather than healing through that, you remain at a level of resistance that will constantly start a repetitive cycle. And that's important to remember, and that could be your first aha moment. Remember, the only thing that you have in common with everything in your life, you ready? It's you. You're what you have in common with everything. And I know for myself, when I looked in the mirror and saw that about, 30 years ago, hate to admit that, but when I looked in the mirror about 30 years ago and really got that, everything shifted for the better. That was one of my big aha moments, is that the ego needs to relax enough for us to gaze at ourselves with love and appreciation and self-acceptance. And this journey through the eye that you have been taking with us, and I know a lot of you have been with us through all of this series so far, how is your life improving? What are you noticing? How is that self-acceptance coming in? The greatest gift of all is to love yourself more, right? To really say yes to you. Because when you do, everything becomes an aha moment and the gifts just keep coming.
It's so interesting. When Kira shared just a minute ago about she understands what you're going through, it's true. In my experience, having been in contact with thousands of people, that 98% of them felt inadequate, not good enough.
Right?
It was a feeling that I carried most of my life. That sense of not belonging, not being smart enough, not this, not that, whatever these knots are.
they are knots.
They are, in fact.
That's so true.
That it was amazing, because you know what? We do all share similar type experiences, at least in that feeling of inadequacy, not belonging, not good enough, whatever it may be.
It is so true. And those go back to those life scripts, don't they? And this is important to pay attention to, because when you give yourself the gift of looking at yourself with love and saying yes, then the light comes forward. And Hank, you have a beautiful sharing about that. I'd love you to share it with all of us, this incredible poem that Hank wrote. I'd love you to share with us, because it really takes us into the depth of that. And I invite you to bring your hands to your heart, and I'm going to invite Hank to share that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's entitled You Are, which really is you are, I am,
Yeah.
we are.
Yes.
In the light you shine, your essence is truth. At your core, you are strength, you are beauty, you are love. A student, a teacher, a guiding light, with abundance of blessings, in gratitude, in awe, for I, with all, as one.
Let's take a breath on that. Just really feel that and really receive that.
Through in being, we experience our humanness. What it is in body to be human. to embody, to care, to share, to give, to receive, to self and to another, to all. This is the gift, truly the gift of experiencing the depth of one's humanness.
Yes.
One does not need to become. One is. You are. I am, as one. In a previous program, I spoke to value. The fact that I am here is my value.
Yeah.
The fact that you are here at this time is your value. Nothing else. Just share, feel that beautiful light that you are. And I guarantee you, you will radiate.
Yeah.
And others will feel that as well. You'll be walking down the street or in a grocery store. Someone's going to smile, maybe engage in conversation, maybe not. But they will feel that beautiful light that's emanating. If it resonates with you, embody this insight. Feel into where it leads. Consider sharing the awareness with another, for it is a gift. This is deeply embracing in being, experiencing our humanness. Be present, be curious, in loving, enlightening, enriching, in being, in living.
Ooh, really breathe that in. Just really, really breathe that in. Because today, what have we been inviting? We've been inviting you to remember, number one, you're the gift. You deserve because you were born. Really take that in. You deserve because you were born. You are here in this magnificent planet, in this magnificent moment. And yes, I know it can be scary, but you're here by choice. You're here because you matter. You're here because you are doing all that you can do, no matter what you think it is. Even if you think you're off track, trust me, you're not. And this is why Hank and I are so grateful to the universe for pouring this information through us, for inviting us to share this information with you. And it's the foundation of our upcoming multi-day retreat at 12 Hummingbirds, which is our private home and a 25-acre spiritual paradise in the Andes Mountains. And this sacred land, and one of the things I'm so excited about welcoming you to be a part of with us, and this is July 31, you want to mark your calendar, is that this is Incan land. This is sacred pre-Incan land. This is Kenyari land with sacred temples and all of the things that support you really saying, you know what, I am safe to take this deep dive. I am ready to take this deep dive. I deserve this deep dive. And what's so beautiful is that all of the water that runs through the property is coming straight out of the Andes Mountains and invites that flow, invites that momentum. And Hank, I'm so excited about what's going to happen the end of July. I'm just really honored for those of you that have already registered, and we are filling quickly, so you want to check this out.
Yeah, we're very excited as well to share this experience with all of you. This upcoming retreat is July 31st to August 7th. As Kira mentioned, it's entitled The Opening, Creating the Pathway Forward. And we invite you to join us here at our home in 12 Hummingbirds, situated, as Kira said, on 25 acres of sacred Inca property in the Andes Mountains, to share in a profound journey together and experience it in this upcoming retreat.
Yes.
In this journey of self-reflection, we will share together in an insightful experience focused on the I, dive deep into those aspects of oneself that are restrictive, release the feelings of inadequacy that many feel, and the non-truths that holds one back from truly experiencing the I, that beautiful being one is. And Kira, how do we find out how do we share a little more about this retreat? Where can they find information if they're interested in at least taking a look?
Thank you. That's really important. I'm so glad Hank brought that up. So what you want to do is go to iamkira.net. And right there's going to be a pop-up. It's going to take you right to all the information about this journey, and let that be an aha. In a beautiful, gifted, awakening field, the greatest gift is that we remember ourselves. All of our mastery restores, and we are able to apply that. It becomes our daily life. And we start smiling. You know, Hank and I smile all the time at silly things that unfold beyond that law of attraction. We enter into that law of instantaneous manifestation. And again, get to imkara.net and you'll find everything you need to know about the opening. And if you want to send us a question, Hank and I are happy to respond to it. You can put it right here in the chat at this YouTube channel. Hank and I do look at all of your comments and questions. We do respond to every one of them personally. Or you can send us an email to support@selfascension.com.
It'll also give you a sense of the land, of the 200-year-old hacienda, the pre-Inca caves that exist, the petroglyphs, and all the Inca artifacts. This land has an Inca canal running through it, and also it's on the original Inca highway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing with trails and so forth. So
Magical.
take a look, see if it resonates for you. And back to what we were saying, it is through the gift in awakening that one has the opportunity to realize self-ascension.
Yes.
Through conscious practices, we can help make a difference. Follow your heart, be aware of where it leads, and express.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.